In our interview, I spoke to Dr. Shetima Bukar, the chairman of the Federal Character Commission. He spoke to us about the alleged marginalization in federal appointments and allocation of infrastructure. Dr. Shetima Bukar, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Welcome.
Well, let's begin with this, your view on the present allegation over the appointments, lopsided appointments, so to speak, that people say is happening in the present administration. What is your take on this?
Well, first of all, let me thank you for asking this particular question, and let me make a very specific clarification on it. The allegation normally being made are not within the context of the federal character listing. In the federal character, we are looking at the holistic aspect of all employments, and we have over 600 MDS, ministries and departments in the country. And then with the coming of the president has not disengaged all the chief executives, only those whose terms have elapsed. And then these are, the lopsided is not true, because what you see is the percentage of the chief executives for various states. If you look at it, there are more states which are marginalized in certain areas in certain part of the country than certain states.
What are you talking about?
I'm telling you, therefore the appointment is not marginal. Let me tell you an example. Take Ebonyi State, for example. Abuja State has less than 1% of the total employment in the country initially. And then when more people are appointed, up till now, still Abuja State, despite the fact that more people are appointed in that particular state, you find that state is not properly represented in terms of appointment into senior positions of government. And the federal character is not about either north or south, or zone or this zone or that zone. Federal character is about states. And then the Constitution clearly says there should not be any predominance of particular state or ethnic group in a particular MDA, ministry or departments. So when you look at appointments, depending on area where these MDAs are situated, no state in this country is not marginalized. If you look at it in terms of this thing. Let me give you an example. If you go to, for example, University of Maiduguri, or Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, or Maiduguri Chad Basin Development Authority, which is in Maiduguri, and then subject it to the 37 states, and look how many Nigerians are working in different states in those areas. All the states which are not there are being marginalized. The same thing if you go to the south or southeast and look at it. So it depends on the area where these things are situated. And then government's appointments are always not based on either parochialism or sentiments, but they're actually based on the laws of that particular organizations. And that is being done. And therefore, I clearly tell you that it is not being lopsided. People are being considered and looking at states. But people look at it in terms of north-south. And that is not federal character principle. Federal character principle talks about states. That's why we have 37 commissioners, plus the FCDA, representing the interests of this. And it's responsibility of these commissioners to complain if there are lopsidedness. So that is the reason why I'm saying it's not lopsided. And then the appointments are clearly federal character compliant, especially when you compare with those already in government. Those
so all the appointments are federal character compliant?
Of course. There are some are constitutional, which means obviously you have to go, like ambassadors, like ministers, like permanent secretaries. These are constitutional and you have to take from all the states. And if you look at it, such appointments are not federal character compliant, because there is no state in the federation that is not being represented. And then we always complain if we see that states are not being represented. And we are not doing quota system. We are just looking at employment in terms of equity and the fairness and then and justice. It's not in terms of quota system that this state should have 5, this state should have 5, this zone should have this. Not like this. Some state could have 10, some state could have 7, could have 6. That means federal character compliant.
You always have the full list of these
Yes,
things?
we have it. We have full list of all the appointments, all the 486 presently, and there are certain which are yet to be appointed. There are more committees that are not being appointed. more boards and parasites that are yet to be appointed. So the ones that are appointed are clearly federal character compliant.
The list you have.
Yes.
Is it in how do you decipher? Is it in percentage? Because, for instance, if I ask what's the percentage of people appointed in the Northeast, in states in the Northeast?
What we are saying is, the law is clearly saying there is no state which should have more than 2.5% of the total population, and then more than 3% of the total population of the workforce in that organization. For example, channels, if you take it as a government institution, we expect that you should not give less than 2.5% of all the states. So if you are taking Anambra, Borno, Enugu, and Lagos, we expect that these states should not have more than 2.5, less than 2.5, and should not be more than 3% of all 37 states.
Apart from dismissing this allegation, the federal government, I mean the presidency, actually said it would look into this happening. What do you think would come out of this?
Well, they should ask us. So appointments of president, whether now or before, federal character appointments are being made, and chief executives are to stay for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years before they are being disengaged. Those of them who are not disengaged belongs to states. And therefore, if they are not being disengaged, and then if you take more on them, federal character will corrupt, because you are now marginalizing those states that have been removed. And that is the reason why. And then we also look at how many senior executives, not only executives, if you look at the chief executive, you look at the directors, you look at the deputy directors, you look at assistant directors, Constitution specifically mentioned about these things. And all these things are management teams. And then there was any organization in any of the part of this country that is being comprising of all these people I mentioned from one state. They are from different states and coming from different zones of the state.
Also, for instance, we also have opinions, people who say that they're being marginalized, when it comes to infrastructure development, especially people in the Southeast.
Well, you see, infrastructure is not something that is for one person. If you provide power, for example, you don't think that one state will only get power and other states will not get power. If you are talking about roads... We're
talking about the level of infrastructure development.
If you define infrastructure as only roads, all the states of the federation are also this thing. We look at budget of the states and see that states have gotten, or zones have got fair amount of this thing. Of course, you are not going to expect that because you spend 500 million naira in the Northeast, you have to also come and spend 500 million naira in the Southeast. That is not the idea behind federal characteristics. But there must be an equitable distribution of such facilities.
Is there?
And then it's there. If, for example, take roads, for example, Kano, for example, Kano, Maiduguri, Bauchi, these cuts across about 5 or 6 states. If you take railway from Lagos, how many states does it cut across? If you take railway from Lagos to Calabar to Port Harcourt, or railway from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, how many states does it cut across?
So when you hear the Biafra agitators talking about this, how do you intervene?
Well, some of them maybe are being misinformed. They have not looked at it very well. And then it is not a function of a 2-year or 1.5-year administration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shetima Bukar, for coming on the program.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your mails as always. Keep sending in your views and comments using the email address and Twitter handle on your screen. Also, be sure to share anything happening within your locality. Now, don't you forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. Thank you for watching this week. I'm Gloria Umezuki. See you again.